Oasis were actually signed to Sony and not Creation, but that wasn't really made clear, because if it had been made clear, it would have killed the indie label, the cred that they had at the time, you see.
So, Oasis signed to a label with more global selling power than Creation could guarantee. And talking for the very first time on television about that deal, Liquid Assets can reveal the man who actually signed Oasis.
A lot of people don't know that, but I was the guy who actually did the contract, yes. By the time we actually signed the contract, they were already looking extremely strong. I mean, everybody had suddenly got how good this band were. And the normal course then is that a manager, and more importantly possibly the lawyer, will say, OK, we can really go and make a big deal now, you know. So, and they would have accepted bids, and it would have turned into a bidding war, which is kind of good fun for the artists for a while, because they've been courted and offered drugs and flown to America in private jets, but actually gets them down in the end, and they don't necessarily go with the right people. And I think that's where Noel was very smart, actually. His head wasn't turned by the people offering him drugs and private planes and stuff, you know.
From the very beginning, Noel was clearly a canny operator, because the publishing deal that he signed with Sony was 3 times as big as the advance that the band actually got as a whole. And it just showed that Sony knew that they were onto a good thing, that they were confident the band was going to go far. But it also showed that Noel knew what he was doing. He knew that as a songwriter, he deserved more money than the rest of the band did just for standing on stage and strumming their guitars and singing.
Older brother Noel was now starting to bring in the big bucks. His publishing deal was worth a reputed £125,000. From the very beginning, the Gallagher brothers showed that they were ideal headline material. Stories of their nights out on the town were becoming the talk of music magazines and tabloid newspapers. But in the eyes of millions of their fans, they could do no wrong. They were fulfilling their fantasies. They were getting banned from flying Cathay Pacific, getting barred from Manchester's Dry Bar, and they even got kicked out of here, the notorious Columbia Hotel, regular stop-off point for all wannabe rock and roll stars.
They moved down to London and became absorbed into, you know, the West End cliterati, you know.
The tabloid press builds you up, because then it can sell a lot of papers revealing your drug habits or your habit of sleeping with kangaroos or whatever it is that you get up to. And I think what Oasis did was quite clever. They went straight to the tabloid press and said, we sleep with loads of girls, we take loads of drugs, you know, and they got it all out in the open, so there couldn't be any, you know, Liam takes cocaine.
There was no shock.
There was no shock, because everyone was like, yeah, we know, he's been telling us on the record.
It was stealing the thunder, really, wasn't it?
Yes.
Before they...
Yeah, it was a clever move. It was like, yeah, we're complete scallywags, and we, you know, we do all this, you know, so what?
At the time, the Star, the Mirror and the Sun were moving more and more to celebrity and pop music as being newsworthy of a daily paper. He were ready-made stories, you know. If they went out in London, somebody get thumped, somebody get, you know, there'd be some altercation, and it just happened, you know.
How many of the stories were true, and how many would you say, you know, were exaggerated?
80-20. You know, there's always...
In terms of 80% true?
No.
You need to be yourself. You can't be no one else. I know a girl called Elsa, she's into...
But even if the tabloids love Liam, not everyone was enamoured by his be-yourself attitude.
There is this suspicion that they're above their station now. Manc attitude. They're a bit cocky, considering they come from a council estate and they're rather poor. Do you know what I mean? They're not doffing the cap to us. I mean, for God's sake, but everyone wants to pull them down, you know, for being a bit cocky. All the things which, if you're kind of Tara Palmer Tompkinson, or if you're sort of Prince Philip, you're allowed to be in a way.
Yeah.
You know, if you're posh, you're allowed to be like that, and we expect it of you, and we'll doff the cap and think, well, that's a British aristocracy for you. Some yobbos from a council estate act like that. It's like, kill them.
Did you guys see Oasis?
I might have done, who's asking?
Oh, me.
Oh, yeah, right, sorted, top mad for it.
Well,
yeah, they were great, you know, but I don't know, like, you know, because I was so out of it, you know.
So I went off in search of a man who knows all about the attitude needed to sell loads of records and be a star. A man very close to the Gallaghers. It's Manny from the Stone Roses.
If you were to go bowling into your pub going loads of money and all that kind of gear, you're going to get punched, man. And no one likes getting their nose broke and put across the face, you know. Picasso paintings look great with nose and eyes all over there, but not on Manx.
Now, part of that attitude was a walk. An Ian Brown walk, a Liam Gallagher walk. What's the difference between the two? Between their two?
I don't know. Ian swings his arms a little bit lower when he does it, but I don't know. I think it's vitamin C deficiency and rickets or something because, you know, it gives you your knees a little...
Years and years of crap food growing up in...
Years of crap food, bad living, inner city bad living. I don't know. But I think Mancunians who walk it like they talk it, you know, we've got a way of doing things in this city that Cockneys can't understand, for one, you know, and that's just how we are, you know. We are simian. It's great. I love monkeys anyway.
But monkey impressions weren't the only marketing tool the band would use to try and make their millions.
They don't over-intellectualise the music like like a Coldplay or Radiohead would. It's three-chord, idiot rock and roll.
Everybody could be an Oasis. They gave you that feeling that you could do it, and I think that's another big part of we made a lot of the statements quite direct and easy to take on board. You know, you can live forever, you can be supersonic.
Some of the best bands ever are the ones who represent a lifestyle that you feel you're buying into. You know, the way they looked, the haircuts, the language, the walk, the music, what was said in the music. It's just like, it was a gang, it was a real gang, wasn't it? That's what you see, you know, as the punter. So you don't just go and buy Supersonic or Shaker Maker, you buy a chunk of that lifestyle. And that's what makes a lot of bands so successful. They're not just selling a piece of music on a piece of plastic.